Some fresh information coming on this entire Vyapam scam issue. We're joined by NDTV's Barkha Dat. Barkha, what is the latest?
Well, Gargi, what we have, and if we can bring it up on the screen now, is a autopsy report that was signed by a panel of 3 doctors on 9th January 2012. This autopsy report, if you look at it closely, let me read it out to you. It's signed by 3 doctors attached to the District Hospital of Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Anita Joshi, Dr. O.P. Gupta and Dr. B.B. Purohit. So not even one doctor, but 3 doctors, 3 different doctors were basically performed the autopsy on young 19-year-old Namrata Damor's body. And Namrata was found lying on the rail tracks in Ujjain. Her family had always insisted that she'd been killed. This autopsy report actually confirms that. This autopsy report says that Namrata died from what the doctors are calling violent asphyxia. The doctors go on to say that she was smothered to death and that the death shows clear signs of what the doctors are calling a homicide manner. Now, what makes this entire issue so volatile and inflammable, Gargi, is the cover-up that followed. The police continue to argue that this was not murder, it was suicide. The police based this on taking a team of forensic and medical experts to the rail tracks of Ujjain. They said they'd recreated the entire sequence, and at the rail tracks, they basically claimed that they found evidence that this was suicide. In December 2014, the police filed a closure report saying that Namrata had not been killed, she had killed herself. The family then went to court demanding a CBI probe. Why is this important? Because it's the first skeleton that's come tumbling out of the Vyapam cupboard. It is the first concrete proof of a Vyapam murder, a murder that was sought to be covered up. And the reason that it is important is not just because it's the first evidence of a murder, but also if you juxtapose it with a deep irony that just yesterday, the SIT chief, the head of the probe panel, basically told me in an interview that the Special Task Force had not found a single death linked to the Vyapam scam. And here we have an old autopsy report that seems to have been buried by investigators, overlooked by the police, that went against this post-mortem report. And the other reason that it's extremely important is because this case is at the center of the current storm. TV journalist Akshay Singh died in mysterious circumstances minutes after he interviewed the family of Namrata Damor in Jhabua. And here we now have proof that was buried that Namrata Damor, at least according to the doctors who performed her autopsy, was killed and did not kill herself. It is speaking to a massive cover-up, and we've been saying from the beginning that the cover-up in Vyapam may well have been worse than the original crime.
Right, and Barkha, what do we know about Namrata Damor? What was her whole role? She was one of the accused and clearly knew a lot about a lot of people involved in the Vyapam scam.
Well, you see, Gargi, what's happening here is she was just 19 years old. And you know what people are saying is all the small fish that in a sense have been implicated, that it's the accused who are in a sense dying in mysterious circumstances, that mysterious death has become a euphemism for either murder or for a system that is not allowing the truth to come out, that the big fish are still out, that it's the small fish, the small-time accused in this medical admissions exam who are now being implicated and silenced. And Namrata Damor's death, which the doctors who performed the autopsy believed was murder, is pointing to that illustration that whoever knew something is in a sense being silenced. That is the opposition accusation.
Right, and Barkha, since it's so apparent that this was a cover-up with the autopsy report so clearly stating she died from strangulation, asphyxiation, and the fact that the police actually just closed the report calling it a murder, what happens now since the focus is right back to the Namrata case?
According to me, Gargi, the police will be under immense pressure to order a fresh inquiry into Namrata's death. The initial reactions from the police say they're waiting for fresh evidence. The autopsy report is not fresh evidence, it's 2012 evidence, but it's very, very concrete and clear evidence. And questions will be asked as to what basis the police would choose to go against the autopsy report. It is completely unusual that police investigators would look to build a case that directly contradicts the post-mortem report, Gargi. So my sense is this case will be reopened, but it also opens a bigger can of worms. Now people will start asking, how did Akshay die? Right. Now that we know that Namrata was murdered, how did Akshay die?
All right, Barkha, we're also joined on the phone line by GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP and Ajay Kumar of the Congress.
Let me take this to GVL Rao and Ajoy Kumar straight away. Ajoy, I'll get your reactions first. Ajoy, we have broken this story. Our correspondent Ajay Patwa from Ujjain sending us a copy of this autopsy report 2012 that says 19-year-old Namrata Damor was killed. Yet the police file a closure report citing other experts saying that she killed herself. Is this the first skeleton that has come tumbling out? Is this the first murder that has been proven?
No, Barka, what is disturbing is that there should be a FIR filed against the Madhya Pradesh police, because first question is all the unnatural deaths which they were claiming to be, accidents, heart attack, is obviously a post-mortem report. Namrata's case highlights that the post-mortem reports have been manipulated, and and all the Vyapam deaths which are murders are being projected as unnatural deaths, because even there was an article recently on the statistical chance of so many people dying is one.
But Ajoy, you be the police officer. The police is arguing that they took a team of medical experts to the rail tracks where Namrata's body was found, and they claim that when they recreated the sequence, they found it was suicide. But isn't it unusual for the police to go against a 3-doctor panel autopsy report that says she was killed? Isn't that unusual for the police to do?
It's not. It's absolutely connivance. There should be a murder case. There should be, co-accused in a what you call suppression of evidence. And Barka, I'm so glad you're in Bhopal, because this is something very, very serious. And all those deaths which have been happening, it is definitely, there is the murder at the post-mortem report being submitted by the police to the court, and Bharatiya Janata Party claiming this is gospel truth is absolutely false. Because if you look at it, post-mortem and ante-mortem injuries on a railway track is very easy to analyze. But and
Ajoy, you're saying that given the cover-up of the autopsy, the police should be made a co-accused in this case.
Absolutely, and the Madhya Pradesh government, and you should get it out of Madhya Pradesh and get police officers independent or outside Madhya Pradesh under Supreme Court, because believe me, Barka, this is one of the most heinous and dangerous crime, and the post-mortem reports have been manipulated. I mean, where are we going to?
Let me bring in GVL Rao. GVL Rao, I want to bring up these pictures of this autopsy report. Our correspondents all across Madhya Pradesh, Ajay Patwa from Ujjain, sending us this report. Please have a close look at it, sir. 9th January 2012, I'll read out the 3 doctors, Dr. Anita Joshi, Dr. O.P. Gupta, Dr. B.B. Purohit, arguing that this young woman found on the rail tracks of Ujjain dies from violent asphyxia. She's been smothered to death, and her death shows clear signs of homicide. In December 2014, 2 years later, sir, the police says it's suicide based on some sequence they recreated near the rail tracks. Sir, will you accept that this is the first proof of a cover-up of a murder that was projected and presented as a suicide, sir?
I would completely disagree with that proposition, but certainly the document that you are showing, I think that document has to be, I'm sure it is available. It has been presented before the Honorable High Court. And if certainly after perusing all the evidence available, the High Court had agreed to a closure of the report. But what has actually, what has caused a lot of anxiety, I would say, and also a lot of consternation was the death of young journalist Mr. Akshay Singh. So after this, certainly there are questions being asked, and these are natural questions. The state government wants a completely transparent probe. That's the reason the entire post-mortem in this case was, video recording of the post-mortem was done, which found no foul play. And also the entire viscera sample was sent to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences as demanded by the family members, as the mother of the deceased journalist, and also the India Today group. So the state government has nothing to hide whatsoever. Let me finish. Nothing to hide whatsoever. Wants a completely transparent and a free probe, because he was on the trail of the death of Namrata Damor. And since his death occurred in that particular investigation, there must have been reason for the police to believe that we must extend the investigation into the death of the young student herself, so that the investigation becomes comprehensive.
Sir,
So I
sir,
think
let
this
me
is
interrupt you now. Sir, let me interrupt you now. Sir, I'm hearing you say that given this document that we have brought into the public domain, the 2012 autopsy, people will have doubts. Can you say to us that the police, at the very least, must take back their closure report and order a fresh inquiry into how Namrata died?
You see, the fact that the police have themselves opened this case, and also the document which is in your possession, that document is available to all the investigative agencies and also to the Honorable Court. So do not jump to conclusions. It's the police, Madhya Pradesh police themselves, who have, I think, reopened the case mainly because the death of young journalists has caused massive consternation, and the government wants a complete and free and comprehensive probe into this. Now the matter is being investigated again.
Okay. So you're saying Namrata's death, in the light of the fact that Akshay Singh died minutes after he interviewed her father, even Namrata's death must be investigated again in the light of both Akshay's mysterious death and these documents?
Absolutely, I think so. That is the primary reason. And Akshay's post-mortem, mind you, please do not be selective in accepting reports as it is convenient to the media, convenient to political parties. The post-mortem report of Akshay says that there is no foul play. This is a natural death. But the state government does not want to stop there. State government wants to conduct a completely transparent probe. That's the reason viscera sample was sent to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences as the family wanted it. And the Chief Minister has now handed the seat. This death earlier was not considered initially to be having any links with Vyapam. But today, now that the Chief Minister has written to the High Court, and we are hoping to hear from the High Court, accept this plea from the Chief Minister. If the court chooses to hand over this investigation to CBI, they can do it. If they choose to give it to any other police force, the High Court is empowered to do it. The state government wants a thorough, complete and transparent.
Before I get Ajoy Kumar to make a last comment, you do not accept that this smacks of a very grave cover-up that the police went against the autopsy report?
Absolutely no, because I think the media should stop being the judge of these cases. The High Court was in the possession of all the evidence that was available with it. They could have easily, if they did not find the arguments put forth before the court to be convincing for a closure of the report, the High Court could have simply directed the police could have simply refused to accept the closure report, as it happens in a number of cases, including the coal scam. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the court. CBI said we don't want to involve him in this coal scam, but the court said no. How can you ignore? How you have not even questioned him? Why haven't you summoned him? So the court is not compelled to accept any closure recommendations made out by the police. It is the court that takes the ultimate decision. In this court, 6 months ago, the courts had accepted the police version.
Fair question. Let me put that to Ajoy Kumar. Ajoy Kumar, the matter is in court. It's probably going soon to CBI. Are we prejudging in the light of this autopsy report? Quick comment before I say thank you to both of you.
No, the absolute nonsense. It's a mysterious death. 75 lakh people cheated. The Bharatiya Janata Party, 1,42,000 people employed, all through money, powerful people involved in politicians, bureaucrats, people connected with judiciary. And the BJP is saying that it is a minor issue. They continue to suppress it. They keep taking the defense of the court. Their police force submits the most fraudulent post-mortem reports. And look at the analysis. What about poisoning? What about so many stuff? So post-mortem, their police does, their hospital does, their doctors are under pressure. And they expect, and the Chief Minister, who is the leader of this whole scam, he was minister for 3 years so Barka, no justice till Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan remains, till it is out of Madhya Pradesh police and the government system in Madhya Pradesh. This is one of the most dangerous things which have happened in independent India under the BJP leadership.
Mr. Rao, quick response, and then a quick response very quickly, sir. We've got to take a break.
Yeah, for a party, for a government that had cheated 125 crore people to come up with these statistics.
For a party who's been killing people, and your scams are starting, Mr. Rao.
Let me remind Ajay Kumar that Dr. Manmohan Singh was the coal minister in the UP one term when all the coal block allocations were done in the most illegal and fraudulent manner.
Let us discuss what are the issues on hand.
Also was responsible for all the decisions. Unlike
thousands of lakhs of people have been cheated.
Responsible for investigating all the wrongdoings in
lakhs of people have been cheated. 35 lakh people have been cheated. 1,42,000 employments given by Shivraj Singh Chauhan's government.
125 crore people. You have taken the resources of 125 crore people of the country. What are you talking about?
That is what we are going to prove to you. That the kind of Bharatiya Janata Party, the kind of BJP RSS plautism you are doing on this country.
Okay. Come on.
Pankaj Munde, every day.
Mr. Rao, I'm going to say thank you to both of you now. Handing it back to Gargi, you can see a political storm is raging after the NDTV exclusive news break, the autopsy report of January 2012, where the doctors say Namrata was smothered in violent asphyxia, that it shows signs of homicide. The police then said it was suicide. Is this the first concrete evidence of a massive cover-up in Vyapam? That's the story we're breaking at this hour. Handing it back to Gargi as we continue our special investigative focus on the ground in Madhya Pradesh.